The little, everyday memories always hurt the most. Emma Hochstedler knew that well enough. Ever since the shock of her parents' death 6 months ago, she'd gone teary-eyed over the strangest things. Like today, here she sat on a busy June morning, sniffling over a battered egg basket. It was a foolish waste of time, she knew, but still, she couldn't help it. She hadn't seen this one coming. She'd passed the daily chore of chicken tending to her younger sister Miriam years ago, and, to be honest, she hadn't given the egg basket much thought since. But just now, when Emma had pulled it from its shelf, the handle had fit her hand with such heartbreaking familiarity that she'd been brought up short. For a finger snap of time, standing there on the back porch of the farmhouse, she'd been a happy little girl again, her sheltered world still shining and unbroken. The doorknob rattled behind her, and she blotted her eyes with the back of one hand. She couldn't let the family see her crying. It would worry them. The least she could do, the very least considering the circumstances, was not to add to their pain by giving in to her own. "Emma, was ist let's?" Her new sister-in-law stood in the kitchen doorway, a broom in one hand and a concerned look on her kind face. "Nothing's wrong, Naomi." Emma forced a smile, "except that I'm sitting here wool-gathering when we have such a full morning ahead of us." She brandished the basket. "I'm off to the coop, and then I'll be ready to help you pick the cucumbers." Naomi's brow puckered. "You're seeing to the chickens?" "Yeah." This time Emma's smile came more easily. "I thought I'd take the job off your hands. You're doing more than your share already." That was true. Her brother Joseph had chosen well. Not only was Naomi sweet-hearted and devoted to her new husband, but she was patient and hard-working, a welcome addition to a family who'd weathered so many troubles. "Since your heart operation, I've had to scramble to find any chores left to do." "I like to work," Naomi said. "After so many years of being sickly, it's a real blessing for me to finally be able to do for other folks." She glanced over her shoulder. "But it used to be Miriam's job to tend to the hens, ain't so? Back before, I mean. Joseph told me it was her favorite chore." "Yeah, it was." Emma's lips curved at the memory. "It wasn't mine, so I was happy enough to pass it off to her once Mom said I could. They're a messy job, the chickens." But Miriam never minded. She knew all the hens' personalities, and she liked to name them after our friends. Mom fussed about that. She didn't think it sounded kind when Miriam would suggest we stew Mallin's Betty for supper because she'd started pecking eggs. Naomi laughed, but Emma's answering smile halted half-formed. Her twin brother Caleb had laughed too, and Dad had smothered a smile. Now Mom and Dad had passed, and Caleb, well, Caleb was lost to them too. Naomi stepped fully onto the porch and shut the kitchen door. "Emma," she said, lowering her voice, "I think we should ask Miriam to take the chickens over again. A job like that, something she used to enjoy so much. It might be a way to coax her outside of the house." Emma shook her head, alarmed. "Not yet, Naomi. Yesterday she couldn't even step out to get the mop you needed, and it was just beside the door on the back steps. She'd never manage to go all the way across the yard, and it would upset her to try. It's all right, truly. I don't mind doing the outside chores until she's better." "Oh, yeah, I know you don't mind taking over her work, and of course I don't mind either. The problem is, I'm not sure all our helping is good for Miriam." Naomi hesitated, her forehead crinkled with concern. "I am new to this family, Emma, and I don't want to make trouble. It's only that being sick for so long myself, I know better than most folks how tempting it can be to stop trying. especially if people around you make it easy to stay where you are." It was plain how carefully Naomi was choosing her words, trying not to cause offense. Still, Emma felt stung. Since returning from her stay in Ohio, she'd taken on the job of Miriam's care, making certain that her sister wasn't upset or troubled, hoping that plenty of love and calm would speed her healing.